Hello and welcome back to another video. Something slightly different, and it is in a kind of way associated with Shenmue 3. I'm making the video because I'm sort of involved in a debate / argument with Shenmue Ben, and it's got to the point where it's actually starting to fuck me off. I don't want to fall out over it, but I feel like he's got a very strong opinion on how he feels about the game, and any sort of negativity or doubt against it, and he's straight on the attack, which, I can understand he's invested money or whatever else, but, in reality, you can't believe what game developers are telling you, no matter who they are. I've got the ultimate respect for Yu Suzuki. I've got a ton of his games. I've got half of his games in here, Things like Space Harrier, Outrun, Virtual Cop 2, Virtual Fighter 2. You don't need to tell me that he makes good games, or he made good games. Let's bear in mind, it's been a long time since he's made an actual game. But what I want to talk about today is expectations. So before I mention that, I just want to say, Shenmue 3, it doesn't make any odds to me. I'm not going to buy it. I've not got a PS4, I've not got an Xbox One, I've not got a PC. I've got no intentions of buying any of these things. I'm just sticking to the retro for now. Don't get me wrong, in the past I've played an awful lot of current gen consoles. I was obsessed with moving from technology to technology. I followed everything, game development times, costs, the whole thing. I was so enthralled in actual video gaming for such a long time. The whole industry, not just playing the games, but everything about it. So I've got a bit of a grasp of, these kind of things. So moving away from that, whatever. I'm not going to buy the game. I truly hope, and I've said this several times, but everyone seems to think over it on the, go over it on the actual comments thing. I truly hope is the game that everyone wants, and I hope that it doesn't let anybody down. I hope that it isn't a DLC fest, and that Sony don't take over and make it so it's impossible to play, without paying extra money and everything else. But another thing you've got to remember about DLC is that a lot of the time it's there because the developers couldn't make enough money from selling the game. So they have to bring out downloadable content to try and recoup the costs of development. This is how the industry works. When developers make a game and it doesn't make the development costs, in this day and age, year 2015, they go bang. There's no, we'll make a second game, see what it's like. They don't. They go bang. That's it. You've seen it. There's so many examples out there. I'm not even going to go through it. But there's a hell of a lot of pressure when you're making a game these days. And if you've been out of the game for a long time, you might not fully realise exactly what's to come. So, a long way around this, expectations. And this has got nothing to do with video gaming, but it is to do with expectations. Because for a long time, for the last few years, a lot of people I know have been banging on about this particular restaurant, the Grey Goose, because I'm not to keep referring to it. No one watching is from around here anyway, particularly. But anyway, everyone's banging on about this restaurant, the Grey Goose. Greatest place ever, lovely atmosphere, great staff, great service, great food, etc, etc, etc. I know people who go there every week, or almost every week, and I respect their opinions, and I often think if they're into something, maybe it's something I should consider trying, because I may well enjoy it as well. So, that's the kind of thing. So, the expectations for the Grey Goose were really high. I was pretty much expected to be blown away. So when the opportunity come to go there, it was actually on a Monday night, and they do a sort of special on a Monday night, and it's like pizza and pasta and things like that. You can have your ordinary stuff they do, your steaks and things like that, but it's a special sort of thing. So we all went along, and we get to the place, and unfortunately we weren't able to sit in the actual restaurant part. We had to sit around the bar. We sat not actually like round the bar, like there's the barman, there we are eating our dinner, but actually like away from the bar. So we're sat around this table, and we've ordered the drinks, and here's the first problem. This is when expectations are all of a sudden lowered. We spoke to the lady and told her what drinks we want. It's pretty basic stuff. We're not asking for cocktails or shorts or anything like that. We're asking for a few basic pints of lager. Now, I actually had to explain it 3 times before she understood what we wanted. Now, Like I say, it was very basic, and immediately I'm thinking this is not a very professional service. But bear in mind, this place is expensive. You're talking nearly £5 a pint in here. Your average meal is 20 quid, you know. It's definitely a premium price. So we finally get the drinks and get to the table, and things are going well. The service is good, they've brought the menus out, they've come around in quick time and took the order, and everything else. And the food comes out. Now, again, I'm expecting greatness. My expectations are sky high. And I've ordered one of the Italian specials, so I thought, why not? And me being me, I thought, let's have a meat feast. So everyone's got a lot of different things. Everyone else actually had a starter, but I looked at the menu and it was like about 10 quid for a prawn salad. I'm tight. I wasn't actually paying, but my girlfriend was, and I thought, I'll save you a tenner, I won't bother. So I didn't bother on a starter. So this pizza comes out, and it looks fair enough. You know, it's proper home, you know, handmade pizza. You know, it looks the part and everything else. It's not just round like something from a supermarket. It's got a bit of a shape to it, a bit of an island shape to it. And it's nice enough, but the first thing I noticed is the meat is like pork and chicken. And I really like my food, I really like cooking. I know a fair amount down to experimentation rather than any sort of formal training. And the meat to me immediately tasted like it was cooked the day before and then reheated. And I 99.9% believe that is the case, that they had the Sunday dinner that they do there, and the meat that was left over they then use, which makes sense, it's a lot cheaper. This pizza was about £9, but again, expectation. To me, the price is irrelevant if the place is supposed to be of a certain standard. So I wasn't generally impressed about that, but the biggest problem I had, and this is kind of weird, but this to me was the worst thing about the place. Again, expectations. It's almost, you know, it's a premium place, so, you know, the seating, the tables, the decoration, the way the staff are dressed, everything's at a very high standard. And so we're sat there around this table, seats about 8 people, and there's this noise. There's no soft furnishings, there's very low ceilings, this noise, this chatter of people, and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And after about 5 minutes, I honestly could have put earplugs in if I was given the option. The noise, the next day when I woke up, it was still ringing around in my ears. And people said to me, you know, what did you think? What did you think to that place? And in all honesty, I was expecting to give it a 9 out of 10, a 9.5 out of 10. That's what I was expecting. But the most I could give it was probably a 6. So, you know, the Shenmue 3 thing, I know a lot of people are really wrapped up in this game. I've got no experience with it, I've got nothing that I can compare it to. You know, there isn't a single game here that you can say they're going to bring a sequel out to it. Can you get as excited as someone is going to get about Shenmue 3? There isn't a single game here, and I've sat and thought about it for the last couple of days, and there isn't a game I can think of that I can say, oh yeah, if a sequel out to that, I'd be as excited. There isn't. These people are almost religious in the how they believe in this particular game, this particular franchise, and this particular developer. But you know, I just think people should just lower their expectations a bit and just rein it in a little and proceed with caution. There's no guarantee. If you was building a house and you knew a builder but he hadn't built a house for 15 years, would you be confident in him building you a house? Bearing in mind how much the building industry has changed in the last 15 years, would you be confident in him building you a house? If he said, I can do it for 65 grand, would you be confident that that's what it's going to cost and it's going to be done to sufficient standards? Because I think you'd have a little bit of cautiousness about you. Now, this guy might have built 100 houses, but again, a 15-year break, it's a long time. So I think it's pointless me continuing to argue with people about it, because they're so emotionally attached and now financially attached to it that it's literally the same as me going up to a Christian and telling them that God doesn't exist and that Jesus has achieved nothing. I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm wasting my time. It's just going to wind me up. And, you know, there's people replying to my comments saying, you know, you're an arsehole, you're this, that, the other, and this isn't a game, it's life. And in a way, I feel sorry for those people, almost the way that I feel sorry for people like Jehovah's Witnesses when they come around and start telling me that they believe in this God that's not the real God. Not right, I mean, I don't actually believe this, but not the real God. It's a new God, but actually just stole a load of stuff from the Bible and stuck Jehovah where Jesus was and things like that. You know, they're so blinded because of what they believe in, and you know, you've only, as far as I'm concerned, again, not religious, you've only got one life, so believe and do whatever you please, but you can get so lost in something and believe so strongly in something that you just won't hit anything against it, and in some ways that's almost a weakness. But again, it's nice in this day and age, you know, everything's not perfect, you know. It's nice to have something to believe in, I guess, but I don't know. Expectations. Sometimes they can ruin an experience. So, that's it. I don't even know if this video makes any sense whatsoever, but thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll upload some more videos soon.